Today I'm joined with Heather and her German Shepherd puppy Remy, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to reduce some of the nipping and biting that she's getting with the puppy at home. Now he has learned that he's not allowed to nip and bite her husband, but he's still being a little bit naughty with her. So we're going to focus on several exercises that are going to help establish ourselves as stronger leaders that actually has nothing to do with biting whatsoever. There are a few skills that are going to allow us to be in a leadership role that are completely non-confrontational. I'm Cal McCann. Welcome back to McCann Dogs. We want to make sure we're not intimidating the puppy, but at the same time, unfortunately for us, males have a little bit easier time being a little bit more no nonsense, and it's not uncommon for puppies in a family to start to respect the men in the household more so than the females. And that's not always the case though. Sometimes it's the other way around, is like the husbands are like the pussyfoot, sitting like the very gentle with the puppy, and the women are like, all right, let's get this going. So it's not always the case, but it is super common for that to happen. And what happens with puppies when they're young is when they come into a family for the first time, they are evaluating every single person individually. So they'll evaluate the adults, they evaluate the kids. Do you have any kids?
Yes.
So they will generally they'll figure out, okay, who here is in charge, and then who here is more like my playmate or whatever. And then unfortunately, if you've been trying to establish yourself as a leader and you haven't maybe done it with good timing, or maybe not even known what to do or how to do it, Remy might be saying, okay, I wondered if you were in charge, and now I kind of know because you're not really taking charge of me. And then they sort of learn that they can push you around a little bit. But then also there's like so many other things that happen on a day-to-day basis that will allow you to establish your leadership towards him in a very non-confrontational way, because biting is usually a product of not being a good leader in other situations. And sometimes if you can fix those things, the dogs start to say like, oh, I think I need to be more respectful, and then they don't even try to bite. So I think those are some of the things that we'll try to go over today. So the good news is, in like 10 minutes that you've been here, your puppy's been like a perfect angel. And although it's crappy, because it would be nice if he was coming in and like showing us his true colors, at the same time we're also can see that there's a pretty nice little puppy in here, and that we just have to be getting it out. So one of the things that I think is to your advantage is how much he's into the food. Rem, it's this, which is really, really helpful, because we can use the food to help teach him to accept other things. So one of the things that you need to get comfortable with is being able to take control of him, because we're going to also have to do that sometimes when we need to discipline him. And if the only time you're taking hold of his leash or taking hold of his collar, it's in situations where you're telling him he's being naughty, then sometimes it's not like good balance. So I'm just going to show you what we're going to have you do with him in a second. You're going to get some food on his nose, and at the whole first part while I was talking, did you see how Kim was feeding him? When she was doing that, she had a loose leash, and she was rewarding him always for paying attention, just to bring the engagement in. So while he's sort of distracted the food, I'm going to take my hand and put it in his collar, and then I'm just going to reward him, and I'm going to condition him. When I take a hold of you, yes, good things happen. I'm going to take a hold, good things happen. And then when I feed him, you'll notice when I take my hand away, the food goes away too, because I want him to assume when I take a hold, yes, good boy. What I don't want to do is keep holding, and wait for him to make an error. I would do that eventually, but I'm going to be able to just grab, yes. And the name for this game is called collar grabs. It's not really very exciting, but it's basically just teaching the dog, if I'm going to take a hold of you, really good things are going to happen. Maybe we'll have you try that. So do you want to give her a couple of your little treats? Come here, Pup. So you have to do this when he's on leash so that you can have good control. So basically what you're going to do is use the food now to bring him in front of you and cause him to be attentive. There you go.
Closer?
No, that's perfect. Now just take a hold of his collar and then say yes and feed. Go ahead, now let go. And then do it again. That was perfect. Yes. Good. Now see how he just put his paw up on you? That is a bit dominating. It's subtle, but it's a bit dominating. So when he does that, I would flip his paw up. You don't even let him do that to you. Okay, bring him around in front.
Felt like, here, come here.
I felt like it was like sort of like a shake your paw thing.
Yeah.
And in some situations it can, but not when you have a dog that thinks it's also okay to nip and bite you. He's basically just sort of saying, I'm going to be a bit pushy. So even though he's not doing anything technically wrong, that is a very subtle thing that you can address just very gently. You don't even have to make a big deal out of it. Okay, buddy, let's try again. So
I
show
also
him the
noticed
food.
he only did that with me.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, that's my fault.
Yeah, good. Yes, good boy. Okay, the other thing that you could be doing when you take a hold of them is be deliberate, yes, and then reward, because that word yes you're going to be able to use in so many situations, because yes, right now the focus of the reward is on the food, but eventually the word yes is almost going to become the reward. You want to do it a couple times with him, Kim?
Yep. Hey, buddy.
So she's going to get him engaged, and then she's going to take his collar.
Yeah.
Yes, and then reward. Good. Yes, good boy. And see how when she's taking the collar, she's not she's not being gentle about it, but she's also not being rough. She's just being very matter of fact. And that engagement with the dog also goes a long way. And it could be, that could be what your husband's doing. He's just sort of getting in there and getting it done and not really like being cautious about it. He's just being confident and direct. And that's really what the dog needs. So I'm going to try a couple more times with him yourself. So we'll hand you some treats.
Some more
So take the food and lure him so he's sitting in front of you so he knows it's about you now.
Yes.
Now take his collar. Yes, then feed.
See, he only does that with
Yeah,
me.
good. So try it again. If he puts his paw,
Oh,
there, good. That's better. Good. Take his collar. Yes, good. When you feed him, take your food and put it more towards his face so he doesn't have to reach towards you.
oh, this way.
There, yeah, good. Because when I hold it here, being a puppy, he's going to say, oh, the food's there, and he's going to try to run towards you. So you're just going to sort of take it towards him a bit more. Okay, one more time. That was great.
Yes.
Yes, there you go. And then the last 5, you got no paw and you got attention. Good boy. Yeah. It's funny because sometimes people think that like biting is all about like addressing the biting, but you actually can teach your dog that you're a strong leader simply by interacting with the way you interact him when you feed him, the way you interact with him when you put his leash on, the way you interact with him when you let him in and out of his crate. Those times are situations where the dogs really will feel the difference in your leadership. And it's why often when Kim and I are teaching, a puppy will be biting their handler, and then when we do something with the puppy, they won't even try. And it's because they have like a sense of reading us a bit differently, because we sort of have a confidence in a way that we do it because we've done it for so long and we're very comfortable with it. When you're brand new learning with it, those are sort of things you have to learn a little bit more about as you go along. Something as subtle as putting his paw up is really, that itself isn't a big deal, but it sort of opens the gate up for him to say, okay, well, I'm allowed to put my paw over top of your arm, which now means maybe I'm allowed to jump on you, and if I'm allowed to jump on you, maybe I'm allowed to grab your clothes. So if you start by laying down the law and being really black and white with something that's very small, that isn't a big deal to even correct, then you sort of start to show a stronger presentation of leadership without actually reaching to the point where it gets to be this bigger problem. But unfortunately, when you're a new puppy owner and you don't really know, a lot of people will see signs like this and think, oh, he's being so cute, he's putting his paw up. Or in another common we see this, Kim, is when we're doing downs and the dogs roll over on their back and they're like rolling around on their back like this, and a lot of people will say, oh, he wants a belly rub. Well, then when Kim and I see it, though, we think, no, he's about to bite you, because the dogs say, this is so fun, look at me, boom. And then they go from there. So when we see a puppy do that, we don't get mad or angry, but we just stop the issue by just lifting the puppy up and then going to something else. So we don't even have to correct them. We just can read the signs that very quickly is going to lead to a problem, but then we nip it in the bud. So the next thing I'm going to show you is an exercise that we call You Decide. And we basically put all of the responsibility on the dog. And what I'm going to do is teach him to have a bit of self-control, so we can see that he really likes this food. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and see if I can teach him to leave the food alone in order for me to reward him. So if I'm just going to use one piece of food here. Rem, what's this? Sit for a sec. Good. So I'm going to hold it open, and if he goes for it, I'm going to close it. Yes. Good boy. Now, that was an accidental reward because he happened to see a distraction at the same time, but I'm going to roll with it. Okay, so I'm going to show him the food. I'm going to open my hand. Yes, good. And when he makes the decision, yes, good, to not go for it. Yes, my God, you're so smart. Good. Yes. So see how he's learning that when I go for it, it disappears. So I'm going to pull it away, pull it away. Yes, good boy. So do you see how when he tries to go towards it, now all he's doing is leaning his head in, but I'm not even accepting that. I'm basically, I'm going to show it to him again. No, he tries to go for it. I'm going to pull it away until he, yes, excellent. He shows a little bit more self-control. So again, this is putting me in charge, but I'm basically just playing a dorky little game with him where basically I'm saying, here's a distraction, but how do you get it? You get it by showing me self-control, and then I'm going to give it to you from there. Does that make sense? It's really easy, but it's a lot harder than you think.
Oh, yes.
And one of the things that's so challenging about it, Remy Roo, yeah, Papa-doo, is how fast you react. So, do you happen to know how quickly a dog learns information? So if they do something right or wrong, do you know how quickly you would have to give them info about that?
2 seconds?
That's a good guess. It's only 1 second. No,
Oh.
that's good. Most people say like 5 or 10, so that's a really good guess on your part. Yeah, so it's only 1 second. So basically, if I was to hold the food out and then I was to let him get all the way to the point where he could even take food from me and then I pulled my hand away, it wouldn't make as much sense to him. What I'm doing is I'm watching the puppy really closely and I'm reacting to his thoughts. I can see him lean forward to sniff, and so I'm reacting very quickly, but I'm being just as quick to show him the reward from there. Do you want to give it a try and I can talk you through it?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think that would be good. Yeah, we just do it with little treats. So you're just going to put one in your hand, and you're just
Do you
going
have a
to...
good angle though?
Yeah. Okay, now hold it if...
Oh, am I too close?
Yeah, a little bit too close. Hold it here. Now close your hand if he goes for it. Close. Good. Open. Close. Open. Yes, feet. Yay! Good. Now hold it open in front of him. Close. Nope, you're not going anywhere. Sit. You're good. Open. Close. Close. Yes, feet.
Yes.
Nice. Good. And again, it's not even a big deal. It's just a silly little treat game, but at the same time, it's not silly in the fact that you're teaching him, guess what, I'm in charge here. And it's not a confrontational way. You don't have to worry about having any discipline. It's just a way where he's saying, okay, I actually have to obey here. And when I do, great things happen. And when I'm being a little bit pushy, I don't. So what happens with dogs is they always want to do whatever is rewarding to them. That's what their life is all about. It's just, how can I get a reward here? And what we need to teach the dogs is that rewarding comes through doing things for me, not for yourself. Doing things for me. And when I can get him to do things for me, and then he learns it's like, oh, okay, this is a pretty good deal, then what happens, he starts to look at you in a different light, because he basically says, how can I please you? Because when I please you, I love things.
Yes.
Like things happen really, that's so wonderful.
Yes.
And I think sometimes people think in order to take charge, you have to be like this big drill sergeant and like have all these rules and Yeah, it's not even about that. It's just about like giving the dog a clear understanding of what they can and cannot do, and then following through with it. So I want to just talk about what Kim's doing with Remy here, because one thing that's really difficult about puppies is they typically don't have a very good off switch, and unless they're in their crate, when they're out and about, they're busy and they're getting into stuff. So all we're doing right now is we're training Remy just to lay calmly. Kim, talk about what you're doing there with him.
Yeah, this is basically a rule-out game, so he has 2 options. He can either get up and monkey around and not get any rewards
Such as
for
this.
it, like this, or he can remain in the down position and be continuously rewarded. Now, I'm feeding several small pieces of food, so it's not about the size of the treat, it's about the frequency. So what I'm looking for is, his choice to hold that position. Now, I do have my foot on the leash a little bit so that he can't go too far away, but I'm not pinning him to the ground. So I want to make sure that it is up to him to hold this position. Yes. Good.
It's basically a problem-solving exercise. And what
Yes.
Kim is doing so well that she maybe doesn't even know she's doing so
Yes.
well is every time Remy gets up, she's using a bit of food to get him back in position, but she's not feeding Remy
Yes.
right away. And why that is so important is that if your dog gets out of position and you lure them back in and then you feed them right away, the dog will actually pair, I get up, you put me down, and then I get a treat. So what Kim's actually doing is she's waiting until Remy is showing that he's able to hold position, and then she's asking and rewarding. Her foot's on the leash, but you can see she's not holding him there. It is tight enough that he can't like run away and go do his own thing, but the leash is totally loose, and now again, he's problem solving again. This is the first time he's seen this, really. And again, she's rewarding as he settles into the down. And again, we're not mad at the dog if what he's trying to do here is figure out what can I do to get a reward. He's offering a sit, and then he's sort of saying, okay, I'm going to go do my own thing. We wouldn't let a puppy just walk away from work like that. We would wait till it was our idea. So Kim might get 1 or 2 more reps out of him. And then what she would do is give him permission to disengage from her. And I think that's another thing that people don't realize as well. They sort of go, oh, the puppy's not interested, and then they stop. Well, the puppy is then saying, I get to choose how long I listen to you. So we would be strategic about how long we push the limits. Like, I'm not going to make a 14-week-old puppy lay here and do this for 10 minutes. That would be asking too much. But I might say, okay, you're going to do this for 2 minutes or 30 seconds, and then I'm going to tell you, okay, and let you disengage, and then I would start again, so that it's I'm starting the exercise, I'm finishing the exercise. Again, puts me in a more leadership position, but without having to have a ton of confrontation. So one of the things that I think is important to address too is, since we were sort of on the topic of multiple commands, is things like teaching him to respond to his name or saying sit or whatever it might be. If we're giving the command over and over again and he's not actually giving the response, it also teaches them that he gets to hear our voice and then not listen. So we also want to make sure that he understands that when we give a command that he needs to respond to that. Now, because he's a puppy, what we would do to begin is we would say the command and then we would show him how to do it so that he wasn't really being wrong, he was mostly being set up. So I think what exercise that we'll work on next is a little bit on how to teach him to respond to you when you call his name. So when we begin, either Kim or I can even show you a couple times as well, we're going to say his name, and then without expecting that he turns initially, we're going to put food on his nose, and then we're actually going to use the food to get him to respond on the first try. So I'm going to start off by showing you a little bit on how to get the dog to respond to his name. So you can see I'm getting 0 attention right now. So if I was to call his name, there's a pretty big chance that I would get 0 response. So what I'm going to do is get close with the food. Remy. Yes, and you'll notice when I called him, I loosened the leash so that I'm not forcing him to come. I'm basically bribing him to come and encouraging him to come with the food. So now I'm just gonna, okay. Let him get disengaged. Remy, yes. That was actually kind of cool because he almost offered to look a little bit on his own. Good boy, okay. And again, there's a lot of merit in me giving him permission to disengage from me. Look at you. Remy, yes. Now I'm being a bit sneaky here, and I am actually utilizing the fact that Remy's checking in with me so that when I call, there's a huge chance that he actually turns. Remy, yes, good boy. Try one more. Remy, yes, good boy. And again, it's not Remy. Yes, good boy. As he ignores me, it's here's your name and here's what I want you. Yes, good boy. Here's what I want you to do when you hear it. Remy. Yes, and I'm waiting for my dog to give me attention. So see how I didn't yes him quite as fast that time? It's because for a second he was like checking out the food on the floor. This is the type, yes, of engagement that I'm looking for. That was so good, Puppadoo. Okay, so I'm going to have you try it now. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to have the food in one hand. I typically will have the food in my left hand just because for further training, that's what you'll end up doing. Your leash is going to be gathered in the right hand.
Are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Okay.
Because that way you have good control of the leash. Yeah. Once you get used to it, it'll be a bit more comfortable. So what's going to happen is I'm going to kind of cause him to be distracted. You're going to say his name once, and then right after that, you're going to put the food on his nose and turn him so he's focused, and then you can say yes and give him a little bit of the cheese. Okay? Call him.
Remy.
Yes, good. Really good. Now he's not very distracted, which is great, but if you need to, put the food a little closer. Up.
Remy.
Yes. Okay, come back over this way. Come towards me. Call him.
Remy.
Yes, good boy.
Oh.
Good man. Okay, come and try it again.
Remy.
Oh my goodness. So, do you see what your puppy's doing now? He actually is turning before you call him because he's starting to say, ooh, mom's got the good stuff. Okay, see how he's trying to jump up at you? When you feed him, feed there, now feed him. Yes. Always look for what behaviors you're getting. Yes, and reward him again when you're rewarding him. So now you have a puppy sitting on a totally loose leash and offering, yes, and feed him again, offering you attention. That is super. Okay, I think we need to make it harder. Come on over here. That was great. Good. Oh! Wow! Do you see how quickly the reinforcement starts to change the dog's feeling? Settle. And reward. Yes, good. So the moment you get something you don't like, so see, so if he does that, we're gonna take the leash and tell him, knock it off, settle. Good, and then we're gonna loosen the leash. Now we can reward. Yes, good. So your timing of your reward is very good. So I want your timing of when you don't like something to be just as quick.
Okay.
That reward him again. Yes.
Yes.
Good. So if you get any jumping or sort of like pushiness, you can take a hold leash. And what I did is I grabbed the leash with two hands and I just sort of used my leash to tighten his collar around his neck. And as soon as he was being a good boy again, I put all the slack back in the leash again so that he's making his own choices. Reward him again. What a superstar. If you're looking for a video to help you specifically address puppy nipping, make sure you check out that video beside us. And if this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We publish brand new videos every single week to help you have a great family member. And on that note, I'm Cal McCann. Thanks for watching.